Sophia and I draw animals, and today we are drawing sharks. It was supposed to be for Shark Week. You win some, you freaking lose some, as we say on this channel. I lost one. I want to do a full-on sketchbook spread, like 2 pages, back and front, and I want to do mixed media all the way, and I'm just gonna kind of pick my favorite sharks along with some crowd favorites. Sharks are near and dear to my heart. I've actually swum with sharks, but I will get more into that when we are talking in the little voiceover, because I have some stories to share and a picture to show you, because yes, I have a picture, because I'm freaking awesome and I like to swim with cool animals. Anywho, let's move on, and I'll see you guys in a second. So I immediately lied. I actually wound up filming some of the sketching process. I didn't really film the whale shark, but because I was having so much fun doing it, I wound up just filming it and cutting it down really short for you guys. This part was actually kind of hard for me. I don't tend to draw sharks, even though they are very cool and they're super interesting and there's a lot of different species of shark, but getting the proportions right on sharks really matters, because eye placement and even like dorsal and pectoral fin placement really matters, and it can change the look very drastically, especially with the tiger shark. I really wish I had gotten that. You can see it looks like a tiger shark, but like in my head I know that it could look better. The ones I am really proud of, though, at least in the sketch part, I am really proud of them all in the end, but the horn shark and the nurse shark I definitely think I did really well on. I said we're doing full mixed media, we're doing full mixed media. I do have these really light blue pens. They're honestly really fucking old, so I have no idea if these ones are gonna mark up the way I want them to, but I wanna go, obviously, blues and grays and stuff. Just, you know, classic shark colors. Although some of the sharks I am choosing are, like browns. The nurse shark is, oh yeah, I didn't actually get to run you through everything. Let me do that really fast. I'm doing a whale shark. This is a, hello, lock in. This is a big eye thresher. This is a tiger shark pup, because they're live birthers. This is a horn shark, my personal favorite shark. Horn shark / Port Jackson shark, egg casing. This is a tiger shark, and this is a nurse shark. I think I already said that. And oh, this is the cat shark, egg casing. They specifically do the mermaid purses, not the cones, the little like pine cone looking things. Yeah, so that's everyone I chose. Obviously I know my fucking sharks because I chose quite a few fun ones, but I chose a couple that were pretty well known, and I chose a couple that were my personal favorites, so you know, you can't really go wrong. We're gonna use this to color. Like I was saying earlier, the horn shark and the nurse shark are more brown color sharks, which would be pretty fun just to get a little bit of variety in there. And then there's gonna be some browns and reds in the embryo and the egg casing thing looking things. Let's get to it. Oh, who do I start with? Holy shit. I think I'm gonna work my way around. I also kind of wanted it to be this kind of swirl where everyone's, yeah, you can see the vibes. Honestly, that was really lucky, because for all I know, that this marker was gonna be like bone dry when I opened it up. I love the smell of Prismacolor markers. I probably shouldn't, but I do. Yeah, this one's called Light Cerulean Blue. It's a very pale color. It does dry down more visible than it initially lays down, which I do appreciate. There was another color that was like this opacity called Blue Slate, but I found it came out rather purple. But yeah, if you have watched my sketchbook tour, you know that these markers are literally 10 years old. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in some sort of like my story video with a draw with me, because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to share, a lot of experiences I've gone through that contributed to my years-long art block and creative block and all that kind of stuff, and I've been very transparent about struggling with my mental health and that kind of thing. I've been doing a lot better now, and I have wanted to do this since I started my YouTube channel, which is not even that long ago, but obviously I like to yap. I'm good at it. I do it for a long time, all the time. But yeah, I think there could be a lot of things people feel seen through, and I don't want people to feel like they're alone. I also think it poses as a reminder to myself that I'm not alone. And recently, one of my videos that I posted, like my advice to small artists while being a small artist, not being an already hyper successful artist giving advice, you know, it seems so far-fetched. I talk a little bit about encouragement and all these things and not focusing on numbers, and I do make those videos for other people, like for other artists, but they're also a general reminder to myself so that when I start dipping back into the negative habits of focusing too much on other people when I'm making content and creating for myself, it kind of snaps me back out of it, which is good. I'm glad that I made that video, and I definitely want to make another one and be honest that I am not the most perfect positive person. I just genuinely have to think this way and practice thinking this way so that it's a habit. And some of those things have become a habit. Like specifically the compliment one. That has become a thing I do now where I do not hold in compliments, but it was very scary at first. And I think I was more anxious about it before, and now it's like second nature. Now it feels like breathing to let the compliment out when I see something that looks good on someone, or I like how they did their hair or whatever. You know, you fucking know. Anyway, I'm not a life coach. I've been through some shit at 22, so... Oh my god, this marker is fighting for its life. I'm gonna give it a second. Here I was thinking she would make it, and it doesn't seem like it's going to. So yeah, that's a pretty serious for 7 minutes of recording, but it's okay. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I have always been a big fan of Shark Week, and I'm excited to get to make something. This is also, mind you, a week that I'm going camping again. Last week I went camping with my girlfriend's family, and it was so much fucking fun. I definitely want to do that again, and then we're going camping with my family. And I just want to make sure I have everything in order so I don't feel like I've lost my rhythm, because I kind of did, since it was a little bit of an impromptu trip and all of that, and I don't want to leave myself. I want to set myself up for success, so that I'm not anxious and feeling bad about not posting and feeling behind now. I've given myself a schedule though, and I would like to hold true to it. So all in all, it's gonna be a productive ass week. I did update the shop, which if you have watched my vlog, you will see the chaos behind that process. I'm also building a portfolio for the first time, and it's really triggering my imposter syndrome because I've never done an art show before. My sister-in-law does art shows. She's an oil painter, so it feels more like, I don't know, it feels so much more like, oh, that's a thing you do because you're a freaking oil painter. That feels so legit next to me who's just drawing little animals. But I think this is the year where I actually well, first of all, be nice to your fucking self and let myself do things that could make this more of a career. Because obviously I would love to just continue doing YouTube as a career as well, but I definitely also want to go back to school. Part of that entails choosing some sort of major. I think I would love to find a school or online school or something that has scientific illustration as a major. Oh my god, look how pigmented that is compared to the other one. Holy crap. But yeah, I was kind of inspired by this artist I follow called Gobworm. I think it's multiple artists who work on the Instagram site. I don't really think I follow them anywhere else, but I do love their stuff they produce. Whether it's as a group or a singular person. I'm pretty sure it's a group though. But the reason I bring them up is because I noticed they do this kind of like infograph, but it's hand-drawn animals. Like, I was looking into how many like illustrators are listed on science textbooks and things like that, because often illustrations can get diagrams across better than a photograph and labeling can, because there's color coordination, all that stuff. There's just a lot that goes into that, and I think that would be so cool. Whether it's doing that and then making a small children's book or whatever, I just have a lot of dreams, and I am really, really wanting to set them into motion. Because as an artist, I know that it's going to take multiple streams of income to make this a full type thing. It's going to be my art shop. It's going to be art shows, maybe markets, and things like illustration, like freelance illustration or not freelance illustration, like probably children's book illustration as well, which luckily are things that I already want to do. So that's why I think this is a better path for me. I just realized how drastically different this color is versus that, because obviously the ink is better in the marker I don't use as much. So I think to counteract that, we're going to do the tiger shark in this marker, do the horn shark in the dull marker, and maybe do these two in the not dull marker. Yeah. So I immediately mess up. And use the dull marker when I was supposed to use the more opaque marker. And I didn't realize until like I was at the tail fins that I did this wrong. You'll see me pause and go, oh my god. But I do end up fixing it. I think I go over it again with the marker and just darken it up so it looks a little bit more even. But I won't lie to you, this process took way too long. I'm pretty sure this is in like 4.5 times speed, and I don't think it's even fast enough in my opinion. The entire process took a couple of days just because I tended to be drawing towards later in the day, which means the sun would go down, I would lose my light, and I don't really like using the overhead light because it's very harsh on the camera, but I just wound up getting it done. I just think because the sketch process took me so long because I was going very careful with it and very slow with it, and then this process took me a long time, that once it was actually time for the drawing process, like, I was already pooped. We're gonna try opening these again. Don't look at that. We're just color testing. We're using sky blue and brilliant blue. We're gonna try and apply that tricolor method here. We are using this for values apparently. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself right now, but I am. Well, if you are new here and you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, number one, I'm Sophia. Hi. I forget to give context to things. Number two, when I'm referring to the tricolor method, I'm talking about this paint marker method that Gremram on TikTok posted about. They do it when they're kind of blocked, but I really had a lot of fun with it in my last couple videos back, I'm pretty sure. I drew a whole bunch of animals, I did a whole sketchbook spread of like 3-color paint marker, no sketch animals. Long title, I know. But they said to use opaque art supplies, otherwise it might not work. However, I think that I found a loophole. Because my supplies are all in the same color, I'm doing 3 different blues and alcohol marker. I figured they would layer on well and not get muddy, especially because they're all very different shades of blue. It's like one very light, one very middle, and one very dark. And it actually did wind up working. I'm very happy with how it looks in the end. One thing I did forget about is that alcohol markers bleed, so a lot of my shapes kind of got a little bit softer, a little rounder, and not as sharp and stark as I wanted them to be, but I think in the end it kind of worked out for the best. But overall, I had a lot of fun doing this, and I think that I will do it again in alcohol marker because number one, I like the smell, but number two, I don't want to overwork my paint pens every single time I want to draw. So now I'm moving into the whale shark color blocking. This one took me a very long time. I feel like I got through the first couple of the sharks, like the little egg casing and the nurse shark, pretty quickly because there was clear lights and darks within the image that I was referencing, but I had to give the illusion of that whale shark pattern, which isn't very, it's not very a very stark pattern. It looks, you can tell there's like little stripies and little bits where it does get darker, but it's not as what is the word I'm looking for? It's not as prominent as other shark patterns can be. So I had to do a lot of very slow layering and kind of really blur my eyes a little bit and figure out what shapes were there. You'll kind of see once I start doing those U shapes to color in with darker marker. I initially was only going to use alcohol on this, but I do wind up going in and taking a paint pen that I actually color matched really well to finish off the pattern. But for right now, we're gonna have a little chill drawing time. I'll probably play you some elevator music, and we're gonna finish up this coloring process. Next up, I chose to do a tiger shark embryo. This one is referenced from a sand tiger wet specimen embryo thing, which means they're just like floating in the fluid and they've been preserved. I couldn't find a good picture of like an actual tiger shark embryo because they are kind of somewhat born in the womb, and then they like hatch in the womb, they eat each other, and then the ones that survive get born. Bottom line, I couldn't find a good picture of it without looking at a wet specimen because it was kind of laid out in a way that I could draw. There's this very specific documentary, I do not remember which one it is, but they actually managed to film like the birth of tiger sharks within the womb and watching them eat all the other eggs. Like it was some crazy shit. That really, I have like had that imprinted in my brain since I was pretty young. I remember being like, what the hell? I thought all sharks laid eggs, and I did not realize that there were live birthers. But we're now gonna move on to the big eye thresher. This was kind of in the running for like my favorite shark. I still think the horn shark takes the cake because like they have a very special place in my heart. I've actually like pet a horn shark, which is insane. And they're also California natives. So, but threshers are definitely up there for my favorites. I think they might have to be like my runner-up because they're, first of all, so freaking cute. They've got those massive eyes that makes them look like little toys because they're almost googly and silly in nature. But they have this super long tail, and they use it to kind of whip schools of fish, very small fish. Sometimes they can whip so hard it can smack them in half. Like, it's kind of wild how hard they can whip their tail. Anyway, I've been loving all the newfound love for sharks. They're so cool, and they are not mindless, like, bloodthirsty animals. And just kind of seeing the newfound appreciation for them kind of generally, and not just within the community of people who already like animals and already take the time to understand animals, is pretty fucking cool. Now we're on to my personal favorite, the horn shark. This one, funnily enough, is my favorite, but it did give me the hardest time because the horn shark has a much lighter pattern, and like the colors on it they're not super stark, and like they're not super contrasting. I didn't wind up using my darkest blue a lot, and I had to kind of figure out how to strategically place it that way it wasn't overpowering and making it look darker than it is, because it was a lot lighter in color palette than the other sharks, and I wanted that to come across, and that just took me a second because I had to color in all these little individual spots and then try to make them look as organic as possible, when I was definitely a little bit stiff because I was worried about being too close to the whale shark, which it kind of was, and also worried about I don't know, it just looking right because this is my favorite and I wanted it to look right. And I did reference a couple pictures for the spots, and I kind of made the pose because a lot of the times their tails are hidden in the rocks because they kind of stay low to the ground in rocky, kelpy areas. But yeah, also, let's just freaking appreciate the fact that it has a literal spike on its fin. Like, that's so cool. Yeah, these are definitely one of my fave sharks. I love them. I love their little puppy face, and I feel like I need to draw them more. I did draw them for my postcard club a while back, but I haven't drawn them since, and I feel like I should definitely draw my favorite animals more and be okay with drawing the same things more often. But obviously, we've now moved on to the corkscrew egg casing. Horn sharks, Port Jackson sharks, and I think bullhead sharks lay corkscrews. But the whole purpose of the corkscrew is to wedge itself into nooks and crannies of rocks so that they don't go flying when the waves hit. They're also very reminiscent of kelp in the slight translucence and things like that. I always thought that was really cool. And the texture is very strange. It's like leathery and weird, but don't think I touched one again, but it's very cool. But moving on, I'm excited to talk about this because I've actually done a cage dive with tiger sharks before. I have swum with sharks twice and have swam with manta rays before. think when I was like maybe 10, it was the first time I went into a cage with sharks. Like, not with sharks, but like in the ocean. But the water was really, really rough that day. I honestly don't think they should have taken us out. I was pretty young, so I did get scared and leave early, but I did see multiple reef sharks. We saw some white tips and black tips. But as I got older, me, my cousin, my mom, and my tia went to Hawaii together. This was several, maybe more years ago. It might have even been pre-pandemic, if I'm remembering that correctly. But me and my cousin booked a shark experience thing, and they had said that there was multiple tigers in the area, and they were hoping to see one. We wound up seeing 4 tigers, and I think the biggest one we saw was 8 feet long. If I'm correct, if I remember that correctly. I will insert a picture somewhere in here. But what's kind of ironic is that I'm kind of more afraid of snorkeling, like reef snorkeling, than I am of cage diving with large animals. Something about being in the open water, even if it's not very deep, but being close to things that I'm not supposed to touch that could possibly sting you, like that's low-key terrifying. I don't know why, but I almost had like a panic attack one time because I was next to these brain corals, and then we kind of got swept up in some waves, and like we were too close to the corals and I couldn't put my feet down because you're not supposed to touch them. And I was like, I need to get out this water right now. And I don't know why that stressed me out more than being with, like, I don't know, meat-eating sharks, 8-foot meat-eating sharks in the water. Like, I don't know. I think the cage just serves as like a barrier that makes me less afraid of these large animals. But anyway, oh yeah, because the manta rays, that one, you're not in a cage. You're floating on top of the water and you watch them. That freaked me out a little bit. I was still in the water, but I was definitely huffing and puffing because you can't touch them, but if they brush you, like, you can't stop them. And I did get brushed a couple times. It made my heart jump a little bit. I don't know if I'd ever do that again, but I think I might want to do cage diving again or whale watching, but like obviously you're in a boat, but I want to see more animals in the wild for sure. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of yapping on my part. I was getting a little excited there if you can't tell, but we're on this last little corkscrew egg casing. And once I'm done with this, we're going to do one last little round of elevator music time for you. And I'm going to add in some finishing details in my color matched paint pen. Because some of the things got a little bit lost in the fuzziness of markers. So we're going to head over and do that now. Hi, it's me again. I'm here to show you the spread, clearly. I accidentally bled onto the back page because I forgot it was alcohol marker. But luckily, the page that I bled onto was paint marker, so I can cover it up. Here she is in all her glory. Love, love, love. You'll kind of see, but I went in with color pencil to add some extra texture in there because obviously mixed media, I can't stay away from color pencils to save my life. And I really like little stripies to kind of show some depth. This is a very fun page for me. I have had so much fun showing it off to the internet, even though this video hasn't been posted, but like TikTok has seen it, Instagram's seen it, YouTube Shorts seen it. So if you're not following me there, please. Oh, Threads has also seen it, so please make your way over there. Tippy tap, leave a little like, leave a little comment, leave a little follow. The piece is done. It did take me a few days. I was kind of fighting the light because I was starting to work on it too late in the day, so sun would go down, I'd lose my beautiful natural light. But it was very, very fun. I definitely want to do something like this again. I think I want to try doing something like this in full color pencil though. I haven't done a piece like that in a very long time, but I think I should definitely be drawing more sharks. They're very fun to draw. And people seem to love them because I missed out on a few really good ones. I didn't do a hammerhead. I didn't do a goblin shark. I may or may not have been avoiding drawing a lot of teeth because I don't like drawing teeth. They're very hard for me to draw. But goblin shark, hammerhead shark, freaking cookie cutter shark, freaking leopard shark, because I also didn't want to draw spots that much. I only chose a whale shark. I'm so lazy, dude. Yeah, this was a good page. I definitely am gonna do another one of these. It was too fun to not do again. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, a subscribe, a notification reminder, because I'm remembering to do that now. You guys have made it so I can actually see myself as a full-time creator in the future and keep making art and keep updating my shop and everything. It's just really insane to see how many people have joined my little corner of the internet in such a short time, and I'm really grateful for all of you. Lots going on here, lots going on in the brain, lots going on in my life, but I am here to stay. Bottom line. I think that's all I have. Hello? We're trying a new thing with my stand, so whenever I do this, you get a little jiggle. Apologies. You know the frickin' drill. Drink some water, take care of your mind, take your meds, and I will see you in the next video where we draw some more animals and maybe do another vlog because I've been enjoying those. Yeah. Goodbye!